back to the studio. Oh, there's a Shaq to the full for the 2K League. It's the first 2 minutes of this game. 5 turnovers. All right, we're shaking the rust off. I feel like I just want to celebrate whoever scores first. I just want to, hopefully everything just breaks out in their rubs. I think they got some confetti. PB ballin'! Yes, sir, goaltending. Even that's unconventional. And P will start us off with a score. I mentioned PB Ball, the number 5 pick overall. Had a double-double last time out against the Caps. As Authentic will bring it up. Gets it off to J-Rod. J-Rod also from New York. Got a lot of New York boys here in the league. And we got back-to-back buckets. You know, start going to J-Rod just a little bit more. And I do like the way on the defensive end how Toxic is playing dimes. He's playing under the screen, knowing his three-point shooting is not going to be as high. He's going to want to try to work in towards the mid-range, shoot some fadeaways. Three-point shot is never going to be the go-to. So playing under helps you out so much because your center doesn't really have to step up as high. So that could be something that could change the game of the way Toxic is playing, but it's still early. 2-2. Coming up on 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Long range for Vandy. That's well short. Here come the Mavs. And that'll be a foul on Universal. Oh me, oh my. Good feed here from J-Rod. 2-2. If you had the over-under at 10 for the first quarter, you might end up with 5 if we're lucky. 3:05 to go here in the first. Guy called Dirk along with you. We got 5 games today. And we'll get to see the 76ers GC. After going 5-0 in the tip-off tournament, winning the whole thing for the 2nd straight year, they are back in action again tonight. As really the team to beat thus far in the league. Shot clock running down. Universal's got to force it up. It bounces around. Double A with the rebound. And they'll reset it back up. And cold rain for Vandy. We'll stay with Grizz. We talk about great locks and point guards trying to kill him. And Sherm is definitely not the lock to mess with. And trying to do any sort of joke moves in front of his face. Obviously, it's so early in the season. We saw the tip-off tournament, what he's able to do in terms of the defensive end at the point guard position. J-Rod will force one up.
The teams are 2 for 9 combined from the field. J-Rod. Toxic. Rims in and out. Authentic with the board. Second chance opportunity here for Memphis, and he'll step on the sideline. Turnover number 4 of the ball game.
The only positive is that you got 2 offensive rebounds going to the hands of Authentic Africa, and it's created second chance opportunities, and you haven't capitalized. I mean, he's doing what he has to do, but you said right from the tip, you had what was it? What was the call right at the beginning? Illegal screen at the beginning of the game.
We had a traveling. We had a defensive goaltending. By the way, Sherm making his debut. Did not play in the tip-off. Picked in the 2nd round out of Florida. J-Rod gives it to Double A. Shouldn't say making his debut. Making his debut of the regular season is what I mean.
For which player?
Sherm.
Sure played.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh.
Making his debut in the regular season, which is today. First game.
I got confused.
Me too. I like confused myself. I'm like, wait, hold on. Six to 2.
Now starting to find their footing a little bit. There really wasn't much scoring from this team unless it was dimes, and that was the only game. Number 2 is where we start to see it a lot more often than we do not. This is a game where Authentic African, I mean, he's starting to heat up. We talked about offensive rebounds. That's just 3 right off the bat, and they finally capitalized on 1. If they were able to get all 3 of those to go through, they have a lead in this. They probably have a little bit of momentum going their way, too.
Authentic African with 4 points now, 3 rebounds, 2 of those on offensive boards. Dimes behind the back, working against Universal. He lobs it up for PB Ballin, who's now got 4. 2 assists now for Dimes.
You got to get out of Vandy's hands, go off the court when he's cold. This is where you got to have J-Rod bring it up.
So close to an 8-second violation. Universal. And open midi, can't hit. At some point, one of these teams is going to wake up and perhaps blow the other out. Sluggish start for both of our squads. So there's that oop again.
And I think if you talk about a team when it comes down to blowing somebody out, just from seeing as a sloppy gameplay off the bat, but the team that's found their footing quickly has been the Mavs. It looked like it'd be them to go in towards their favor.
Mo, three-pointer, yes sir. And the Mavs up 11-4. So a slow first 3 minutes for the Mavs, but they've all of a sudden got their offense going. They'll have it up for Toxic. No, sir. Ball still loose. And it will go back over to the Mavs with 1.3 to go. It looks like they're going to hold the Grizz to 4 points in the opening quarter. That's got to be a record.
I'm going to keep saying it. You can't have Vandy bring up the ball when he's cold, when you got the lock bumping him up the floor. J-Rod's got to come closer. They've got to get him the ball and move it up. You're going to have the better opportunity to do so because you have more speed than the power forward.
Well, we'll see if they figure that out in the second 6 minutes. But right now, the Mavs up 7. Welcome back here to New York City. We're here at our studios, powered by Intel, in an 11-4 broadcast, 11-4 game. And let's bring Alex in for the first time today. Alex?
Hey, Scott. So obviously there's going to be some natural growing pains going on with this Mavs team this year, considering 4 out of their 5 starters are new guys on the team. And I spoke to the #1 overall draft pick from last year, Dimes, earlier today in the locker room, and I asked him about those natural growing pains, and he says they're over with. He thinks that the team got them over with and those jitterbugs out of their system during the tip-off tournament, and it's really just not an excuse anymore. He's hoping to lead his team to a victory tonight, but guys, so far, it's looking pretty sloppy, so we'll have to wait and see. Back to you, Scott and Dirk.
Appreciate it, Alex. 11-4. This is differential right now, and we're all sort of like an old man easing into a bath right now. We're trying to get this going. An 11-4 contest. And Vandy still on that cold ring. Able to beat the press. And Dirk's about to lose it. Let's take an opportunity to listen in to the team from Memphis.
Hey. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. No, we have 14 seconds.
It might bring Jay off his cold ring because he didn't get it like.
What you mean? I don't got a cold ring.
Like
he doesn't have a cold ring.
He's on cold ring. Was it
It's
Tox?
you. Yeah.
Oh, it's Tox. Oh, it's Tox.
Yeah, because I got
because you got blocked.
Dimes.
Yeah. I had a dot to Tox there, but it's just all good.
We have 14 seconds. All right. Be aware of the clock. You still want to try to run that or no?
Yeah. We have 14 seconds.
We didn't even really run it. I mean, no, he got a pluck out of my LT. So.
Yeah.
10 more seconds.
The shooting is just so much different. It's like
terrible.
Terrible, bro.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
I full bar 2 corner threes. Nah, mid straight. All right, come on. There's our quarter right here. Come on.
7-point ball game. You can hear it in their voice, Dirk. It's not gone well.
was an issue with this team last year too, where the energy just never seemed to be there. They didn't have that true vocal leader really barking out orders and what somebody should be doing or what play should we run here coming off the inbound. The difference maker of so many teams that you've seen this year just highlight the Pacers, just because it's always, every time we do a list, it's always Cody, hey, well, we're going to run this off the inbounds, we're going to do this. They just say, hey, let's inbound, let's try to get somebody off cold. You're never giving a strategy in which way you're supposed to get them off the cold ring.
Mo up to Sherm, another turnover for Memphis. That's 6. Complain about the shooting all you want, but if you can't get the ball up the court, a different story. 3 on 2. And Universal. Somebody for the Mavs really thought they should have gotten the steal there.
Yeah,
that was screaming out.
Maybe if this guy goes from 6'4" to 6'6", but I mean, he made the perfect read for it. I mean, that's a tough situation when you're on the defensive end trying to make the read. Where do I need to go? And that's what Vandy needs to try to do, is get off his cold. But the first shot didn't go up as soon as the ball was passing, so he never ended up getting the assist. So he's still sitting on the cold ring. That was an opportunity to get him off of it as well.
Authentic works it out to Universal. To Vandy. And Vandy will step in. Mid-range jumper. No, still can't hit. Double A, another second chance opportunity. He's got 6 boards now. Vandy still in that cold ring. Shot clock running down. Lob it up. Nope, it's another turnover. And here come the Mavs back the other way, and we got a foul. That'll give us an opportunity to check in with Jeff Eisenband, who's hanging out in the chat. Jeff?
I just want to shout out, I'm Optimist Dime brought up a good point. He said, will the winning team tonight have more points than A-Rooks had last night? So that was 41 last night. I don't think we're even going to go to Authentic Africans 84 of last year, but 41, I think that's the new barrier, guys, for this question.
No, that's a great comment in the chat, Jeff. Yeah, it's not looking that way thus far.
I mean, we could do some math. I don't really want to, Scott, but I think it's right on the pace right now.
Yeah, they're on the pace for a very rough opening game here of the night. 13-6. I don't know what inning it is. So the Grizz need a couple home runs here to get back in this ball game. There's another turnover. They got 8. Sherm. And that's going to be a foul on Vandy. Dime's a little mid-range jumper.
Operating in the mid-range. So many of the shots, even from the tip-off tournament that came off drives, are just right around at the elbow on either side. I'm telling you, that's when you're guarding this. Give him the three-point shot. Bait it a little bit. If you feel like he's going to shoot, he's only going to shoot when he's wide open. He's not going to be shooting any sort of lightly contested shots. So that's your opportunity where you can just keep on playing under and just try to limit his twos.
The barbecue is way too good in Memphis to play like this. Up to Authentic African. And one opportunity here. An opportunity to have 33% of your scoring in one play.
He's the only person scoring for this team, too. I mean, he's been playing his role, what he needs to be doing. His teammates are missing shots. He's grabbing the rebounds.
He's one of the best players in the league. There's no question about it.
The center position, I mean, he would have definitely been up there if he played it all year. But, I mean, when somebody plays small forward and point guard all year long, but people who know, the real know how good Authentic African truly is when he's at his natural position.
Dimes. Sauce it up. And then Authentic African rejection. Sherm with a 3, and he'll knock it down. I'm going to say his foot's on the line. It's a long 2 for Justin Sherman. Vandy still getting bumped. Cannot get off that cold ring. When you're playing bad, you see your stats diminish. When you get on that cold ring, you get very sluggish, and that's a good find. That should be enough to get him off.
Authentic African, 9 of the 11 points.
7 rebounds. He's actually playing fantastic.
Well, they're finally starting to see him each time that he's rolling off the screens. He was popping a little bit, but they're playing up high on Vandy because they know about the three-point presence that he could bring to the table. So this should be an Authentic's game to take over the scoring load, but you also have to add in the mixes at some point. You're a 2-point team all last year.
We see several teams do that. Once you get a little bit of a lead, you say, we're no threes. We're going to play the pick and roll very high. You know, they can have the dunk if they want it, but we're not giving up the triple.
And if you notice, too, each time that Authentic African rolls down, the right corner's been dropping a lot. So that's where you have to make that read of where I need to pass the ball, try to dot a corner, try to get an easy 3-point bucket.
Well, speaking of dots, Dimes has now got 5 assists as Rux gets his first bucket of the ball game. He's got 3. (18-11). Vandy picked up his dribble. Another turnover. And Dimes stepped on the sideline when he tried to pick the ball up, but look at that dot. Boom.
It's all about finding the open man, and that's something that the Mavs have been doing. We talked about the slow start at the start of the game, but it's kind of gone out the window now with how consistent they've been playing on the offensive end. Trying to run a little bit of a play there, but it's Authentic slapped within an Eagle screen for Grizz Gaming. Lowest scoring game of the season, I think, that we've seen so far.
Yeah, the teams combined for 29 points, and no flow to this one so far. Still got a ways to go, though. Dimes gets it out to Mo. Mo with 3 points. He's 1 of 5 from the field. He hasn't shot well. Transition. J-Rod. Job by the Mavs getting back defensively. And they'll have to work in the half-court set. And they're going to foul on Pee Ball. That'll be his second. Pete, the number 5 pick there in this year's draft, and that puts the Grizz in the bonus, and J-Rod will make the first. A lot of fouls in this ball game. 16 so far.
Big time fouls, big time turnovers. A lot of fouls having to come to stop just off of fast breaks as well for both sides. Some reach-ins early too. Toxic got 2 fouls in that first quarter.
Trying to double team Toxic. Will get back. Pee Ball, and what a pass there by Dimes. He's got 6 assists now in the first half. Season high in assists for Dimes. He had 5, so this is actually his highest assist total for the season that's come here in the first half.
Trying to go with the blitz. I think it was the foul. No, never mind. I thought it was the foul to give. So not too smart giving the Grizz just some free ones, and you got Vandy at the line.
Well, especially when they're struggling from the field, Dirk. Put them on the line, let them get some points they've had a hard time earning. There's our cameraman Roy. Yes, just sitting there and getting paid to watch the game over the shoulder of Vandy. 20-15. Pete comes into the forecourt. 4 seconds separate the shot clock and the game clock. Dimes. Pick and roll action. Gets it back from Pete. And Dimes still has it. Still working in the paint. Mo. Yeah, that's a long 2. Mo's got 5.
There's good patience there on the pass. He is in a kind of a tight spot, waiting for Mo just to wrap around to find the correct opening.
And Universal can't get the shot up. 22-15 at the end of no, it's not the end of the first quarter. That's the end of the half. Wow.
22-15. Wow.
We joke, but we head to halftime here in New York.
So welcome back. A 22-15 Mavs Gaming lead over Grizz Gaming. Folks, that was a hard-nosed, tough defensive, just, you know, hard efforts on both sides, we'll say. So 22-15 is your score right now. In all honesty, it was a slow start, 2-2 early on for a while. It looked like Grizz Gaming only had 4 points in that first quarter, but I think the old heads figured it out. Dimes and Authentic African, and you started to see Pete B. Ballin get a little hot toward the end. So the Mavs hold that lead. 17 combined fouls between these two teams. So, you know, there were parts that weren't maybe the prettiest NBA 2K League game ever, but as I mentioned, Authentic African 9 points leading Grizz Gaming. For Dime, 6 points, 7 assists, and Pete B. Ballin 6 points himself. Started to pull things together. Mavs Gaming, they're trying to get their first regular season win, as are Grizz Gaming. Only the Mavs had a win in the tip-off tournament. Just the big note there, 17 fouls, and Vandy, Toxic, J-Rod, the 3 new players on Grizz Gaming, 0 of 8 from the field. The Grizz 0 of 6 from downtown. They could still get hot, but it's Mavs leading the Grizz 22-15, and right now we'll send it down to Alex. A little preview of the next game, Alex. What you got?
Well, actually, I have Nick from Nets Gaming Crew, and he has a really, really cool story. I want to thank the 2K League crew down there for pointing it out to me. So this guy came to every single 2K League game last season, and now he is an official member of the Nets Gaming Crew. How cool is that?
It's very cool. I'm kind of, like, nervous all the time. So, you know, Kurt brought me along, and the guys always bring me in. So it's, like, a really cool experience, and I'm learning every day from OG King Kurt.
Yeah, are these guys sort of taking you under their wing?
Yeah, every single person on this team calls me little bro.
Awesome.
I'm littlest bro on the totem pole. And then I got Famous and Rico and LT teaching me. Famous, Frank, and Comp. They always help me.
All right, well, for the love of the game, it worked out for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Jeff.
We'll add that Nick Gartrell, 2 years ago, I met him in an NBA 2K League contest. He made the final and lost to Dimes, who is playing tonight. Dirk, Scott, we are headed for the second half of what is just a 7-point game, despite the low score.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's only a 7-point game. I think that's a good point, Jeff. It's just 22-15. I threw a couple resident sleepers in the chat. I'm trying to wake it up. They got to do better at taking care of the basketball. 10 turnovers in the first half for the Grizz really has been to their detriment.
They really all came in that first quarter.
Oh, my goodness.
More than half of them.
I thought you were going to go down there and take the sticks out of someone's hands.
You know what? I probably would have done the same thing anyway. I would have just thrown turnover after turnover. Wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Yeah, point guard's hard.
It's just tough because the way that Vandy, the way he's playing on the play sharp is, it's way like Dimes is playing on the shot creator. He's looking for the mid-range shot more than he is attacking the three-point line. He's not even really given an opportunity just to try to dribble. Like when you look at guys like Grady, you look at people like Jay Money, the way that they're able to create the opportunities. He's playing a lot like how you do in team up, where you just try to crab him to the mid-range, shoot an easy mid-range jumper, just throw an alley-oop.
J-Rod. Can't make the bucket. Here they come, Mavs back in transition, and a foul by Vandy. That'll be his third. That'll send the Mavs to the line. Rux with 6 points after that transition three. And that's going to send Sherm to the line, the rookie. If you see your screen shaking, that's because they're the road team. Anytime you go to the line, the other team can shake it like a Polaroid picture on you. And Sherm now at 3. 26-15. Minute gone by here in half number 2. Sky Cole and Dirk along with you. Jeff in the chat. Alex roaming around. You okay, Dirk?
Yeah, hit my head.
And that is an 8-second violation. We've seen them have every turnover that's possible. Every way to turn the ball over, they've done it.
Just need like a basic tutorial how to get the ball up past half court in 3 seconds or 5 or 4, maybe even 8 in some cases.
Dirk's over here doing stretches, hitting his head on the desk. It's just that kind of
It's that kind of game.
It's going to be that kind of Friday, I guess. It's not the 13th, is it? No, we're just on the 12th. It is quiet here in the studio in a 26-15 ball game. Supporters waiting for the game to get into a flow here. Authentic. He's had a pretty good first half. 9 points, 7 rebounds. And Vandy is just living on that cold ring.
I'll be living on a cold ring too if each time when I'm bringing the ball up the floor, I don't have anybody meeting me at half court to pass the ball.
Help me, yeah.
I'm just kind of getting some little bit of bump here and there too. That's been their biggest issue. I mean, once they even do get it past half court, even being able to score in the half court set has just been such a big struggle. I mean, still, Authentic is 11 of the 17 points that this team has.
PB balling off the mark. Transition again for Memphis, and huge blocks there by Rux. Memphis has really struggled when they've had a chance to get out in transition, Dirk. They've made some bad reads.
There was a time when it almost looked like it should have been a dime steal, and Vandy wasn't able to get off his cold ring. But yeah, I mean, Authentic's grabbing the boards, and they're going with some leak outs, but it's just been the transition defense. And see, that's a look that you need if you're not in the cold ring that probably ends up going in. But that's what you need to start to attack more. Stop trying to live inside the mid-range area. It's a time and place for everything, but it's all about making the read at the right time. And you can't just keep forcing, saying, hey, I'm just going to go to the elbow and get him crab. It's not going to work out in the league setting.
Mo. Over to Rux. Baseline jumper. And here is Memphis once again. Just a 9-point ball game. All they need is a run to get back into this. And that's going to be 4 on Sherm.
And something could potentially benefit him too, that now Sherm has 4. You just have to try to make him think, hey, when are you going to start to get that 5th foul? Start dribbling his face a little bit more, trying to make him give into the temptation of going for that reach.
Gerard. Shot clock running down. He's got to put it up. Got a little space. In and out. Up ahead. And last touch by the Mavs. You can tell Toxic is very frustrated right now.
So right here on the inbound, J-Rod just needs to at least just try to put himself into position just in case Vandy's getting bumped. I mean, you're not that bad of a spot now, but Sherm's just playing the good defense. But you have to be able to meet them. Either give the ball to Authentic, let him try to dribble up the floor, throw a pass fake, get Vandy just working around. I mean, if you force the body bump, they're going to end up getting stuck. That's one of the things. You don't have to worry about him stealing the ball. If he's on one side, then the center has to try to move.
Rux in the corner. Got it.
Back-to-back greens for Mr. Chell.
He is 3 for 3 from downtown for old Teddy Rupskin. Authentic. Right hand jam. Back to a 10-point game. Boy, Rux is leaking out every time. Every time Authentic is hanging around the basket, Rux is headed to the other corner. Sherm back to Mo. 2:05 to go here in the third. Can't make the little scoop. Here comes Vandy. There's some space. And left hand jam. Back in single digits. 29-21.
Gets his first points in the game off of a dunk. Maybe I can try to just get some energy. I saw somebody in the chat saying this Grizz team has no energy, no leadership.
This game has no energy.
The most energy we've seen is just, I think it was off to that slow start, kind of set how things are going, and we don't have that excitement. We haven't got those consistent runs, the stops, and going into transition, the flair that you see from so many teams.
It's Friday. You ain't got no job. All you got to do is put the biscuit in the basket. That's what Rux has done very well. 3 for 3 for downtown. And there you see the jam by Vandy.
One of the things, too, is Vandy is operating in this pick and roll with a pure glass cleaner and Authentic, too.
Yeah, so the roll, the pop doesn't do much for you.
It's tough. And, again, for the most success we've seen from so many point guards, that's what they're usually running. I think one of the, I shouldn't say only one, but one that comes to mind is Jay Money. How he's been able to score pretty good with hot shot being on the pure glass. That's not something everybody can do. When you look at the likes of Radiant, he has Steeds with a sharp rebound. They even said, hey, we tried Steeds at a pure glass, but it just did not work out at all. That's why we run it.
And I know a lot of folks right now are saying, wow, 22 fouls. That's not crazy out of the ordinary. You know, a lot of people use majority of their fouls in the game to stop breaks. I think it's because the scoring is so low that when you're looking at the stats, you're going, wow, 22 fouls. But it's, you know, it's because the game has no rhythm right now. And so a lot of the focus is the turnovers and the fouls.
I just can't believe the score is 29-23. I mean, this is a quarter you might even see just in one quarter, but definitely with 2 quarters combined, it's usually a lot more than this. In the offense, it started off early. It was definitely struggling. 9-27 for Grizz. Yeah. 0 for 6 for J-Rod, 0 for 3 for Toxic, 1 for 6 for Vandy, 1 for 4 for Universal. It's literally just been authentic African.
What's going on in the chat, Jeff?
Yeah, I just thought this was a good point. Cody Lewis says they're disrespecting authentic African by putting a sharp rebounder against him. So, you know, I feel like a guy who put up 84 last year, you should show him a little respect. As you guys mentioned in the intro, you know, he moved to his natural position as center, but authentic African 15 and 11 right now.
I think that's because no one else on the team can score. So you're like, well, go ahead and have your 20-20 game if you want. It's not going to be enough.
And no matter what, pure glass cleaners will get a majority of the boards. Usually if you're at center, if you can just find a way to box out the glass, you can win that battle. But then again, authentic is getting the rebounds, but look at the score of the game and how it's played out. They just haven't been able to capitalize it. Trying to throw a lot of defensive rebounds to get some fast break opportunities on the offensive end. A lot of really just unanswered second chance points that they haven't gotten. There's more just leaving them open on the roll, but that's how they're playing Vandy each time. They're just making sure they're not trying to get any threes. But again, you run the pure glass, spacing's not as good for you to try the operate.
Timeout by the Mavs. Let's take a look at the shooting breakdown here between our centers. The rookie PP Ball with 8.6 rebounds, and authentic African 15 points, 11 rebounds, double-double for the second-year man.
It's just been pretty standard with how he's been scoring for Pete. He's on the sharp shooting rebounder. He's been popping out a little bit, but they've been playing the defense on that pretty well in terms of limiting. And that's why all of his points are just coming off of anything going inside. But it's been one of these games where it's been pretty balanced. I mean, Mo hasn't had the best shooting performance, didn't have really that good of a shooting performance in towards a tip-off. But they've just been finding a way to make it work. And it's the three-pointers. You're 0 for 10 for Grizz game, and you're 4 or 5 for Mavs GG. And a lot of the threes you're getting, 3 of them, 3 for 3 for Rux, it's just been a couple corner shots. There was one where he just flares up from the corner going up to the wing. And that's what's really separating the sides. You cut down the threes, it's a lot closer of a game.
31-23. And Dimes elevates with the left hand. Back to double digits. Dimes now with 8 points, 8 assists. On his way to a double-double. Final seconds here in the third. Vandy gets it out to double A, and he's got to force it up, and that's way off. It's a 10-point ball game as we head to the final 6 minutes in this one. Mavs up 33-23. Driven by 20 years of innovation and gamer feedback, the NBA 2K League is powered by Alienware. We got a 10-point ball game here, 33-23. Dimes with 8 points, 8 assists. Authentic African has played well with a double-double, 15 and 11. Those have been the two bright spots in a low-scoring affair. Scott and Dirk back with you here for the fourth.
Low-scoring game is something we've echoed right from the get-go with how the quarter breakdown has even gone. Nobody surpassed 12 points in a quarter here just yet, but it's just been such a struggle for both teams, honestly, offensively, especially just looking at Grizz Gaming, putting the target on them. But even for the Mavs, you're 15 to 27, not terrible. Three-point shooting has been phenomenal. But you just got to see more out of Vandy. I mean, there's times where I want to go back to right before the quarter ended. He had an isolation on Pete going over towards the wing. Didn't even try to do a dribble move. Did nothing to break him down. I mean, that's where you go for the kill. Try to create some space. Instead, he's like, hey, let's go back into the pick and roll. Then you allowed Sherm just to go straight back onto him. You're setting yourself up for failure there. That's where you got to try to go in for the kill instead of just L2ing and trying to jig on a big guy. It's such easy defense.
Vandy, there's that situation that you see again. This time he picks up his dribble against Pete. J-Rod, long rebound for Toxic. Vandy, there's the switch again. And he'll dump it off to double A. That was a good look.
Was able to slither the pass in, but again, it's another one of those situations where it could have been stolen when he threw it down. But then this team they're switching every single time. And if they're switching each time, say, hey, let's separate things out, fan out, go on the low block if you have to. We can't really go into a complete 5-out set because double A's on the glass, but you got to try to make something happen there.
38-27. Mo now at 10. That's a career high for him in his third game. Vandy, mid-range jumper. He's got 8.
And it is one of the benefits. One of the only big benefits of when you do run the pure glass is the Hall of Fame brick wall. That's why you see him having to switch so much compared to where Pete has it. It's not going to be as strong when they're connecting.
9-point ball game, 4:03 to go. First of 5 games tonight. We'll see the Nets twice, and that lob goes nowhere. Vandy's starting to get into it, though.
So those are the shots that you take, and it's something even we talked about earlier where he's trying to look for that just a little bit too much. It's all situational. Just always trying to stop at the elbow. I mean, obviously you can't go straight in towards the paint and try to force something up against Pete.
That's the 24th foul of the ball game. And make it 25. That's the first on Mo.
See, now with Shermer 5, it's really unlike Vandy the way that he's playing. I mean, this is a guy who's been known as a dribbler. This is where he starts to dribble a lot more now. Sherman's got 5. Exactly
and
that.
Vandy.
Show me some more of that.
He's got a career high 11 now. After he put up 10 points against the Wiz. But you're right, with Sherm on 5 and with them switching everything, it's Vandy time.
The only person who's going to be able to reach is Pete if he goes for a blitz, and that'll get him his 4th foul. Whoever's playing up on the wing, which I believe it's Mo, he is the guy you have to blitz or just try to stay away from him. There it goes.
It's Vandy time right now.
Start to get the momentum, start to get the groove flowing.
This is the perfect situation for him. If Sherm commits a foul, it'll be a technical. You can't foul out of the game, so your 6th foul is a technical, and every foul hence after. PP Pollard battling the paint, can't get it to go. Here come the Grizz. They're only trailing by 2 possessions now. Starting to get a little bit of life. Vandy for 3. No. Double A with the board and 1. 19 for double A. Well, they're really starting to feel it now.
Guess why they're starting to feel it. It's a guy named Vandy, we're saying, get in a little bit of a rhythm and play your game, and buckets will come, and that's been exactly what's happening. I mean, that was a good shot that he took, maybe just a little bit too deep for him to hit consistently. But if he just gets those type of opportunities every single time, he's going to take them. Those are free boards.
Dimes wide open at the free throw line. Can't contest a shot from behind. And the lead's back to 6. 2:35 to go. He needs to stop picking up his dribble. Vandy off balance. Double A with the board. Universal. He's got a mid-range look, and he knocks it down. Back to 4. 2:20 to go.
Finally starting to see just a lot more offense coming in from both sides.
Tox has got to be able to hang out with Dimes here. Need a stop if you're Memphis. Dimes. Forced to pick up its dribble. They get it to Mo. Mo working on J-Rod. Back to PB Ball. Shot clock running down. Sherm. That's a force well short. And Memphis just couldn't get the break started. Vandy now. It's a huge possession. They do have 2 timeouts. Double A. We got a 2-point ball game. 17 points in the quarter for Memphis. And Authentics got 21.
Mr. Grizz Gaming, we all wanted to see. They're starting to pick up the intensity. And we said a very, very quiet team, but when buckets start going their way is when they start to pick up the talking a little bit. You're forcing them into some bad scenarios now. There's been a couple of these alley-oops that they've just been throwing up to dead air.
Vandy, we're tied. 42 apiece, and he's got 15. It's the Vandy we knew was inside him all along.
See right here with Rux, we even saw something like that happen yesterday, and he got whistled towards a travel, but they got him at the right time. The behind the back move, time to perfection. Player drops, not quick enough though. And we talk about confidence builder games for these rookies. They need this one game where they start to take over the story and they start to get into their rhythm. And this has been Vandy now. He's turned the game around on the offensive side of things and has put Grizz Gaming right back into contention of winning this game.
Vandy, 19 years old. He was the number 7 pick in this year's draft out of Ohio. And they were excited about getting him at number 7. They felt like he could have gone anywhere in that first round. And there you see 15 points. 8 of those coming in the 4th quarter. 4 assists for him. After a terrible 3 quarters, we get some fireworks here in the 4th.
So there's always some happiness. You always got to be the guy who you can shed some negative light onto what's happening. It took Vandy getting Sherm 5 fouls to be able to do this. We have to add that in. It's when the lock wasn't reaching, that's where he was starting to struggle.
Well, he was on a cold ring forever.
Yeah, you take whatever you can get though. As soon as you get 5, it's smart to keep on attacking.
Dimes. Able to put the Mavs back up 2. He's got 12 points, 9 assists for last year's number 1 pick. And Vandy's got playmaker. Takeover on blast. The 3. Double A with a board. J-Rod. Bang. 1-point lead for Memphis.
And this has just been a complete 2-point game for this team. They've only made 2 of the 16 attempted threes.
They scored as many points in the 4th quarter as they did the other 3 quarters combined. Let that sink in. Universal with the board. They got a 1-point lead and they got the ball. And Vandy's on a playmaker, which means he can dribble that ball as much as he wants. It won't affect his fatigue at all.
I'm going to watch out right here to see if he maybe tries to go for a dot on Universal.
Saucing him up. Working on Sherm. He's got space. Double A. Misses. Gets his own rebound. And they smartly call a timeout there, Dirk.
Yeah, it was perfect. They get you in the driver's seat. You still got 13 seconds on the shot clock left. You just have to play great defense here if you're Mavs GG. I think Vandy still has a little bit of his takeover to work with as well. So look for him maybe trying to get a little bit of pick and roll going on the wing from the inbound.
Wild shooting chart here for Vandy. You can see how his first half went. Then he just started getting things going. And for Dimes, been operating in the mid-range. He's got 12 points, 9 assists. He's 1 dime off from a double-double. But right now his team is trailing by 1, and they do not have the basketball.
And they had been playing good defense all game, but there's not really a matchup that you can change to kind of get you out of this slump. Got to go with what's been working, switch on everything. You just got to hope that if that takeover's still there, they end up switching Pete onto him. That's where Vandy really just has to go big time. You start to see how much more he is dribbling with the boost of speed, and then he's going to get the ankle breakers more likely, especially if he has a guy like Pete playing the defense on him. Remember, Sherm, you're still hands in your pockets. Not much you can really do.
Well, it's 10.5. That's the difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Vandy trying to get a pick from AA. Shot clock running down. That's a forced up shot. Almost win. He gets his own rebound, and they call their final timeout. Wow. Mavs are going to have to foul now. But the little man gets his own board.
I'm telling you, when I brought it up yesterday, there were some non-believers in chat. Well, if you go up with a forced layup, you're not the guy who usually comes down with a rebound. So many times on the offensive end, whether no matter what size you are, if you force a layup up, you end up getting your own rebound. So many of times, and that's a prime example. He just forced one up there, ends up getting it. You see him just draws contact with Pete.
Oh boy.
Falls right down there to him. The smallest guy on the court out rebounding the shooting guard and the center down towards the paint. And now you got a foul if you're Mavs GG. And you see the Grizz, they have Toxic as their guy to shoot their technical shots, which means that they want to go with him. They trust him with the free throws.
Do you go for a double team? I mean, you got 10.9. We talked about this yesterday. Do you have time here to go for the double team?
Well, if you get the double team, it usually, I mean, we've seen it even happen where they go for a double team, they get it straight away, and it'll be literally 3 seconds just gone off the clock, and then you force the jump ball. I mean, I say, again, it's all about time management. This is where the coach comes into play. This is where the players and their mindset, okay, what do we really want to do? Where do we want to burn the clock down to when trying to go for the double? And they're in a hard spot trying to inbound it right here.
And there's an immediate foul by Dimes. That's his 4th. That was their foul to give. So they knew they had to do that immediately. And now they're trying to get it again. They go to Toxic, and he turns it over.
It's so hard to just inbound. I mean, if you're deeper over towards a half court, you can even pass it towards half court. You got so many more options. But right there, that's tough. They're basically double teaming the inbound, or even you holding circles, not doing a whole lot.
And they'll call timeout. No timeouts remaining for either team. 9.7 seconds to go. It was a snooze fest for a majority of the game, and then all of a sudden, the Grizz woke up and scored 22 in the 4th. And now we got a 1-point game. Mavs trailing, but they do have the ball. This has got to be Dimes and Pete B. Ballin show right here. This is pick and roll for the win.
This could be maybe a little bit of an overload set going off of whatever side they're inbounding it at. I think that's something when you have a guy on a shot creator, it's something that can benefit you greatly, because if